Boom. Hey, everybody. Guys, if you haven't been outside today, let me be the first one to tell you, it is an absolutely gorgeous day out there. I mean, civil servants, I understand, have been paid. The streets are buzzing. I mean, literally buzzing with commerce. You would have to see it to believe it. Somebody please tell me in the comments if this broadcast is clear so that we can get the show on the road. Boom, right on time. Yes, I wanted to maintain my little streak, although I did experience a bit of a bump a few weeks ago, but that's fine, okay? What matters is that we are here now, we're on time, and we got lots to talk about. Although I must tell you that, as is my custom, many of you know, I try to keep my dissertations and my delivery under 25 minutes. It's not always possible. A few times I've gone over. I remember once, a few days ago, I spoke for 50 minutes. It's very difficult for me to listen to someone speak for 50 minutes, okay? So because I feel that way, I try to do everything within my power to not subject you to that. I try and condense my stuff. 25, 23 minutes is a good little package, I think. And I remember years ago in the city of, what city was that? Not Swaffham. It was not Sheridan. It's a little town in England. I forget the name of the town. I met a pastor there by the name of Rick Godwin. And Rick Godwin was a very famous preacher back in the mid 90s, late 90s. Well, his church was based on this idea that you sort of give your congregation messages that are under 15 minutes. You know, I think he had 3 services a day, and each service was 15 minutes. This is Pentecostal. Okay, it's not Catholic, it's not Presbyterian, it's not Foursquare, it's not Church of God in Christ. Pentecostal, traditional Pentecostal church. And Rick Godwin would always say, 15 minutes is all you need. You get them in, preach 15 minutes, a good message, you take up an offering, and boom, you're out of there. So, I said all that to say this. I'm going to try and keep it under 25 minutes. Lots to talk about. First of all, I need to give you an update. Many of you know that not too long ago, I went through a little bit of a tiff with a lady that works inside Simon Moore Lane Market. Her and I, for some reason, we couldn't agree on my role in this area. I've always said that because I'm a member of this community, and because I'm an invested member of this community. Invested member simply means I have a property here in the CBD. And it is absolutely imperative, nay, it is incumbent upon me to be a responsible member of this community. So what I do is I try to keep the street as clean as possible so that the people that are coming to this area have a half decent street to come to. And for some reason that rubbed her the wrong way. She didn't like that. And as a direct consequence of that, I had placed a bin on the side of the street. For those of you that watch my vlogs on TikTok, you've seen this bin that I place strategically on the street at the entrance of the market, at one of the entrances of the market. The market has 4 entrances along Simon Moore Lane, and it's got 3 along Lumumba Road. But on Simon Moore Lane side, we place this bin there so that the people that are exiting and entering the market can make use of the bin, which they've been doing the last couple of days, and it's been working swimmingly. Well, in Zambia, when people think that you're trying to make them look bad or you're trying to outshine them, it becomes a problem. And can you believe we were beefing over sweeping? We weren't beefing over an anomaly in a budget. We weren't beefing over, some catastrophic event. No, we were beefing because I sweep the street, and in a sense, her and her team didn't like that. So, but we worked it out, and that's fine. But I did say to her and her team, look, my portion is just to sweep the street. I'm not going to wait for Lusaka City Council to send council workers, because one of the things they said was that, but why do you think you are council? You are not council. Why do you sweep your street? Yeah? You don't work for the council. I said, well, if the council could send sweepers and do their job, honey, I'd be happy. I wouldn't have to contend with this. There is nothing I would love more than to see Lusaka City Council send workers who actually work. Send sweepers, cleaners who actually do their job. I would love that. That way, I don't have to contend with it. But our council workers show up, 2 minutes, they breathe a little, boom, they're gone. And then we're stuck with the mess. So we took it upon ourselves in this community to put our best foot forward and to be responsible members of this community, and we decided to sweep. It behooves me, shocks me, that we even have these conversations where people are saying, but why are you sweeping? Only in Zambia, mate. Only in Z, where someone can watch you sweep and they feel some type of way. Someone watches you sweep and clean the street and somehow that rubs them the wrong way. Only in Zambia. You will never find it anywhere else. We are very unique in that sense. So anyway, I told her, and I told her posse and her compadres, I said, look, come rain, come hail, come high water, I'm going to keep sweeping the street. I've been doing it for more than 25 years. I'm not going to stop today just because you say, or just because you're upset. I'm not doing it, okay? So you also watched Uncle Simon, someone said. All right, guys, let's talk, 2 things I want to talk to you about. First thing, many of you know that last several weeks, we're now going into the 4th week, the nation has been grappling with this issue of where to appropriately, legally, and contextually lay to rest our 6th and former president, Edgar Lungu. And in the process of this back and forth over the past several weeks, the nation has had this cloud hanging over our heads for 3 weeks. And for the first time, the other day, for the first time, an event outside of a conversation about the funeral has actually broken that conversation. There's a young girl by the name of Mwaka, is it Hamwindi? Hamwindi. She describes herself as an actress, an influencer, and I think she's a brand ambassador, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a girl, because the social media space in Zambia is so tight. It's not like America. In America, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of content creators. Okay, in Zambia, you can literally count us on 10 fingers. Okay, that is how close knit. When I say close knit, I mean you can literally identify us just on 10 fingers. You can name, the major influences. Not that I'm a major influence. I'm just saying that the influences in Zambia, it's a small community, so influences are easily identifiable. And I've been seeing this girl. Every so often she'll pop up on my feed on Facebook. Also, she's a cast member of a very well-produced television show called Tikula, We Have Grown, or We Are Growing, depending on how you use that word in a sentence. And, we see her. I've never watched Tikula. I've never seen that show. It appeals more, I think, to young teenagers. And I think for that demographic, that show appeals to that demographic. And my point in saying that is that she's quite well known amongst the 17 to 25-year-old demographic, in that sphere. But the thing that I sort of noticed about her and her content is that she gives off this vibe, even before this scandal that recently broke out. And I'll get into that in a moment. But just to give you a bit of backstory, even before this scandal broke out, this Mwaka young lady, very pretty girl, I mean, very amiable, she takes very good care of herself. She's pretty, she's sort of petite, and you can tell she invests in the way she looks and all, very amiable. The thing that I noticed about her content is that she comes across as a sugar baby. She's got this sex kitten sort of vibe about her. And somebody said, well, how do you know that? Well, just look at her content. I mean, her style of dressing is very provocative, and she's very suggestive in the way she dresses, and all of that sort of culminates into the sort of the vibe that she gives off. So when I, along you and everybody else, when we first heard that there was this sex tape where she was sort of, for lack of a better word, servicing some guy, and it was caught on videotape, and the guy actually climaxed in her mouth, all this was caught on video. When I heard about this scandal, it didn't surprise me. And let me explain why I say that. It didn't surprise me because her content sort of suggests that aura about her. It would have surprised me if she was her content was about banking all the time, and and disciplined living and fiscal discipline. If that was her content, and then we heard about this sex scandal thing, I would have been surprised. But when I heard about this latest videotape where she's servicing whoever this guy was, and a side note here, why is it we always see the girl, we never see the guy, and even when we see the guy, nobody ever talks about the guy? Isn't that an anomaly there? Isn't that sexism? Isn't that discriminatory? Somebody tell me. Could you tell me whether, did I or did I not tell you the other day that I felt that was a bit discriminatory? Did I not say that? I think I did say that. We never see the guy, we always see the girl, and then all of hell breaks loose, and all of the tonnage falls on the girl. The guy is a hero wherever the hell he is, but the girl is she's like one of the members of the Witches of Eastwick, because they sort of just barrage her and just rain on her. And plus this advent of social media doesn't help at all. It makes it that much worse. And so I when I heard that she'd gone through this thing, when you look at her content, it's very clear that that's the direction of her content. That's the vibe that she gives off. And guys, let me explain something to you when it comes to social media. This camera never lies. Okay? The camera, Denzel Washington famously said, the camera will catch you. If you're lying, the camera will catch that. The camera simply catches who you are. So all of the content that she posts gives this sugar babe, you know what a sugar babe is? Tell me in the comments if you guys know what a sugar babe is. It's very common on Instagram, and whenever you see young girls that are posting themselves on Instagram, they're like models. Sugar babes are people, young girls, that very rich, powerful people call, and they engage in sexual favors in exchange for money. That's what sugar babes are. And they are we've got sugar babes all over here. Okay? And all it takes in this modern day, you don't even have to know who the person is. You just go to their Insta page. You go to their Instagram, you go into their DM, you say, hey, look, I like what I see. How much do you charge? The girl says the price. The guy wires the money, buys you a plane ticket. You're on a plane. You go to wherever that is, whether it's Dubai or America, wherever. You do your thing. You fly back. Those are sugar babes. And they are replete. This country is replete. All countries have sugar babes. So my point is, she gives off that sugar babe thing. Okay, so when the tape leaked, and with social media, you never know who's saying what. I mean, I think I heard an audio where she was talking about how she was sort of asking her friend, well, who leaked it? Who leaked the video? Where did she get it from? All of that is irrelevant. Who cares who released the video? The question should always be, why did you allow yourself to be recorded in that position, doing what you were doing? That is the issue. The issue is not who released the tape. Honey, whenever you share a private tape, any type of pornographic material, people are going to share it. Okay? There's no such thing as, hey, listen, I'm going to send you something. I'm going to send you something. Don't you share it with nobody. Meaning anybody, okay? Don't you share it with anybody. This is between you and me. Don't share it. The moment you say that, that is code for, as soon as I send it to the world. That's what that means. You know, the only people you can really trust, I mean, if a married couple, you're married and you do that sort of thing, and then you've got a very solid relationship with your wife, and you say, honey, the world can't see this. That's the only place that's going to be safe. But amongst teenagers, amongst youngsters, amongst millennials, these two pins, you tell a two pin, I'm going to send you something. Don't you dare share it with anybody. You tell a two pin that you're going to send them something that they should not share with the world. Honey, the whole world's going to know about it before sundown. Okay, so let's not start scapegoating and start talking about, oh no, the friend betrayed her. There is no betrayal. There is the issue of beginning the process of pressing record. The problem began when she allowed that joker, whoever the hell he was, to press record. That's where the problem was. And then I'm hearing, I don't know if it's true, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm hearing that, she said, oh, I was a bit tipsy and I was wrong. I shouldn't have trusted. Well, a lot of stuff happens when you are drunk, and when you're drunk, you don't take responsibility for your actions. You place yourself in harm's way, and this is the result. Now, let me explain what's going to happen to Mwaka. What's her name? Hamwinda. Let me explain what's going to happen to her. You see, for the rest of her life, until she dies, this video will follow her all the way to her grave and beyond. Let's start there. Now, let's be honest, okay? Because, I've been reading some of your comments, and some of you've got your head you've got your heads in the cloud, and you're no, baby girl, it's just a phase. A phase? Are you nuts? Are you mad? Have you lost your everlasting cotton picking Georgia peach mind? No, it's not a phase. A girl ain't safe in a world full of men. I keep telling you this. This is a quote from the famous film, The Color Purple, uttered by the incredible, amazing Oprah Winfrey. A girl ain't safe in a world full of men. This videotape is going to follow her till the day she dies and beyond. Because the internet never forgets. Never. So don't listen to anyone that says to you, oh, it's a phase. It's not a phase. That's it. You are attached to it and it will never end. And whatever you do in the future, that video will always be a footnote. It will always be a side conversation right next to your name. They will talk about that. Yes, we know the redemptive power of Christ. We know God forgives, but the internet doesn't. Understand that. It doesn't. The internet never forgets, never forgives. Iris Kaingu, no matter where she goes, that video will always follow her. I mean, Iris Kaingu was recently at the funeral of EcL in South Africa, and she looked amazing. I mean, if there's any such thing as the best dressed mourner, the best dressed person at that funeral in South Africa, it was Iris. She looked the most amazing. She looked the most elegant. But right next to that comment will always be, oh, by the way, remember that video? That's what you have to contend with. When you make choices, these are the consequences. Granted, yes, we know you're preaching to the choir when you say nobody's perfect. None of us are perfect. There is not one righteous. No, not one. We understand that. It's Bible. We know. But the choices we make have far-reaching consequences than you can possibly imagine. Now, one of two things is going to happen in as far as she's concerned. And unfortunately, this is the world we live in. I mean, I wish I could sit here and tell you that we live in a utopia where people just gather around and sing Kumbaya and sort of look to the clouds and hope for a brighter day, hope for the sun to break through the clouds. And, you know, we can all sit around and sip coffee and tea and have bagels with cream cheese. I wish I could say that. But in the real world, what's going to start happening is that every man, every powerful man, every rich, powerful man that sees that video is going to reach out to that girl and they are going to offer her uber crazy amounts of money to do to them what she did to that guy. That's the life she's now going to have to contend with. And yes, I mean, we can sit here and say, no, she's going to say no and all, and that's fine to say that. But men being who men are, powerful, rich men being the powerful, rich men that they are, honey, it is going to be a constant barrage. It is going to be a non-stop tsunami of what do you charge for doing that? And I'll send it to you in dollars. There are men out there that will offer you $10, $50, $100, $200,000 just to do that. Now, $200,000 to you and I is a ridiculous amount of money, okay? But there are men out there, $200,000 is nothing. It's nothing. With the internet, anyone can reach you. With the internet, anyone can talk to you. On the internet, I've given you the example. I remember one time I made a comment on Paris Jackson's Twitter account, and I saved this conversation. It wasn't a conversation. It was like a back and forth. But I've saved it, and I'm actually planning to frame it. On Paris Jackson's official Twitter account, okay, this was a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago or something. I had said something to Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter. You know, I think she had used a swear word on one of the videos that she did. So I sent her, because, you know, we're Michael Jackson fans. My whole family and I were huge Michael Jackson fans. And we follow, you know, well, not follow, but I watch some of the content that Paris Jackson puts out. But this one particular video she put out, she was using a lot of salty vulgarity, you know, salty language, in Selesana, you know. So I said to her, I said, you know, Paris, your father never talked like that. She replied, she said, oh yeah, he did. She said, oh yeah, he did. And that was from her real account. My point is, on the internet, anyone can reach you. Anybody can reach you. So that is the life she has sort of introduced to herself. And it's going to take a lot to fight against that. And because those offers are going to come crazy. I mean, because she's got everything. She's pretty, she's this, that, and the other. And I mean, many of you are, I saw a video of one guy saying that the skills are just beyond. There are people out there that will make sure that they get a piece of the action. And that's putting it mildly. Okay. So I wish her the best, but I will tell you it's not going to be easy because the choices she made have put her in this position. Okay? All right. That's tough to say, but it's the truth. I'm not going to sit here and gloss over it and pretend it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Yeah. All right. Walungu's issue. You know, the longer the Lungu family takes to bury him, the less attached the Zambian people will be. I want you to say that in the comments. The longer the Lungu family take to put EcL to rest, the more detached we will be as a people. You know why? Because life goes on. The earth has to spin on its axis. 24 hours a day have to be lived. Nothing stops. Nothing. The Word of God says, let the dead bury the dead. What is past is past. All of us are appointed. It is appointed unto man, the Word of God says. It is appointed unto man to live once, to die once. So if you're going to use EcL's body as a bargaining tool, because you're now trying to turn him into a cult figure, because this is what the family are going to try and start doing. The longer you pull this thing and draw this thing out, you're in a sense trying to turn him into a cult figure, like some type of deity. Don't do that. He lived a life. It's time to place him to rest. The rumors on the street are that if the South African government block this effort by Walungu's family to have him buried in South Africa, that the family are talking about going somewhere else. I mean, I've heard. I don't know how true that is. You know, on social media, you can never tell what's real and what's not. It's very difficult to sort of sift through the noise. You know, I heard a post, somebody said, no, we'll go to Malawi, we'll go to Zimbabwe. If Mnangagwa allows EcL to be buried in Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa is wrong. Why? Because Mnangagwa is the chairman of SADC. Why would the chairman of SADC allow such an anomaly? For what? Why would the Mnangagwa allow EcL to be buried in Zimbabwe? For what? Even though the rumor, and of course I don't know if this is true, but allegedly that EcL had a Zimbabwean passport. I've read a post where people on the Lungu side dispel that notion. They have challenged that notion, saying that there's no such thing. But you see, the longer they take, the more ground conspiracy theories gain. You must understand that. So you can't stop people from creating all of these assumptions and manufacturing conspiracy theories. You are creating a fertile ground for conspiracy theories, for innuendo and gossip, because you are prolonging the process of laying him to rest. This problem solely is placed at the feet of the Lungu family. This is your Waterloo. And the best way to do it, lay him to rest here in Zambia. It is wrong. It is disingenuous. It is a slap in the face of the legacy of EcL to bury him anywhere, to bury him anywhere else. He only should be buried here. All right. That's what I had to tell you. Thanks for watching. Bye.